the most highly regenerative organ we have in our body, which is the liver. And what it all does, it does more than detox. It's a nutrient storage and production house. It helps with breaking things down.
Over 500 metabolic reactions.
Just an amazing organ. And
you are not your own. You are bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. And he's going to mean that physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. It's just not a one-sided thing where you can choose to go to church on Sunday.
So the monitor is going to be something that's gets put into your skin in the subcutaneous area, and it actually senses the amount of blood glucose, and it gives you a real-time reading on your phone, which is really cool because you know then, if I eat this, it does this. If I do this, it does this. And we all respond differently with different food groups.
Let's go.
You are not tired. It's actually your liver that is screaming for help. If you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling like you need to take a nap, not just in the morning, but in the afternoon, in the evening, even before you go to bed, perhaps your liver is overly stressed with your lifestyle. We're going to talk to you today about some things that you can look for as possibilities of being the menace and how to fix it.
Can you hear your liver screaming for help?
My liver is saying, I'm happy. I'm healthy. I've just been through a 2-week detox.
There you go. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, a lot of times we discount the most highly regenerative organ we have in our body, which is the liver. And what it all does, it does more than detox. It's a nutrient storage and production house. It helps with breaking things down.
Over 500 metabolic reactions.
Just an amazing organ. And no, it's not supposed to get all fatty filled, just so we'll know. But it is something that really need to keep an eye on, because if the liver is functioning well, it increases our odds substantially we're going to be in good health.
You did say something very interesting. If the liver gets fatty filled, which is the number one cause of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease today, called MAFLD, non-alcoholic liver disease, that is going to slow down metabolism and all of the other functions that the liver comes to the rescue for.
About 1 in 4 Americans now are predicted to have, right now, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is caused by, for the most part, high fructose corn syrup and other chemicals we get in our standard American diet, and the body just doesn't break it down. So that is one way to ensure your liver is going to scream for help, to let fat get in there. And you can see that sometimes with liver enzymes on labs coming up.
Of course, we've got to, like you said, look at that dietary protocol for all that high fructose corn syrup and all of the other sugars that might be laden in the daily diet. Then, of course, we also have to look at alcohol, which is second in line, and medications. Let's not forget about the number of medications that are going down the gullet and having to be processed by the liver.
That's right. So these chemicals like this, or unusual substances like this, are always having to go through the liver, and the liver and its health need to be given attention every day. And so a lot of times when we sort of have fatigue and all this metabolic breakdown, weight gain, joint pain and all that, brain fog, it is related to the liver. And we sometimes forget that. So we're big on not just doing a detox probably quarterly or so.
We do it at least 3 times a year.
We do. But we're big on making sure that our liver has what it needs in it all the time. And you think about this for a moment. I mean, good food, good water, good rest, good exercise is basic stuff, and the liver works pretty good.
And you did bring into play the thing about environmental toxins. Oftentimes, yes, air, water. We don't think about the things that we're putting on our skin. We don't think about the household cleaners that we're putting on our hands. All of those things, yes, they go into the system, across the skin, into the vascular system, and eventually through the liver.
Well, they do. Persistent organic pollutants are everywhere. Our chemicals that we deem okay in America are deemed not okay other places. So just because something is, deemed okay by the EPA doesn't mean it's okay at all. And just look at the chemicals, not just in your foods, but also in your cleaning materials. Make sure your cleaning stuff, your cosmetics and things like that, the topical cosmetics, the spray aerosols you do, pay attention to those things because they are toxic to the liver, or they certainly can be.
Yeah, so things that you might be struggling with if you need to clean up your liver are fatigue, brain fog, not being able to get enough sleep, skin issues like rashes, things that are coming out of your skin, that it's like, where does this come
Yeah.
from? It might be your liver not being able to eliminate it efficiently through the gut and through the bowels. Gas and bloating might be signs that your liver is overloaded. And then sensitivity to other foods that you've never been sensitive to before. All of a sudden, your system is getting overloaded, your gut is getting leaky, and your body begins to break down.
I mean, we all know that the gut is a major target of either function or dysfunction. But let us not forget the liver, that organ that sits over there to the right side. It's really something we need to pay attention to. Really, really big deal. So the liver, give it some love from time to time, will we?
Yes, clean up that nutritional protocol. Go through a detox a few times a year. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Get out and do some exercise. Move your body. Get blood, oxygen, and nutrients to your tissues. You may want to utilize our detox packs. Those detox packs have the nutrients or the cofactors that actually support liver metabolism in them. If your liver is deficient in nutrients, it doesn't detox well. So it's already on a setback and it can't show up for you to do all 500 of those processes very well.
So give your liver some love, will you, folks?
What does the Bible say about health? And why does it still matter?
It says a lot. Find out what next.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
This is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative.
Hey friends, you already know the answer to this, but we'll ask you anyway. If you stay away from your favorite junk food for a month and then go back to supersizing it, will your health improve?
Well, that's the thing about change. To change, we have to be as consistent as possible.
And when we go back to an old habit, it's not the end of the world. We just get back at the new habit.
Before you know it, real transformation is evident to you and others.
That's why we offer a bunch of helpful bonuses when you subscribe to Kingdom Fuel.
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life, and we'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today.
Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars. And they don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit. That's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer. If you're suffering from fatigue, if you know you got toxic overload because you're bringing in stuff that's actually inflammatory and toxic, it's time to get your body in a place where it can function again, because toxic buildup can and does and will kill you.
Kingdom Detox and Kingdom Detox packets. So the body's completely nourished. It gets a little bit of rest because it's not having to over digest, so to speak, and it gets the right nutrients that support those phases.
That's why the Kingdom Detox process works.
Let's talk about what the Bible says about health and why it still matters.
Fascinating. When we look at the Bible, we think it's all about religion and all that stuff, but it's really got some wonderful principles in it. So, there's a lot of scriptures that we look at that talk about physical health, and I've talked about these a bunch, and it's interesting, in organized religious activities that we typically see poor food. What is that? It doesn't fit. And so the Bible is very clear about what we're supposed to do with health.
Yeah, I always go back to that scripture, 1 Corinthians 6, verses 19 and 20. It says, "Do you know that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, who you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies." And he's going to mean that physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. It's just not a one-sided thing where you can choose to go to church on Sunday, throw it all out the window all week long, and then go back to church the next Sunday and be forgiven for what you did the week before. It's a real true work in progress. And you talk about that very eloquently, the meaning of how we should treat these bodies as a temple of the Holy Spirit in relationship to food.
Well, if you believe that, this is a big if you believe that God made mankind in his own image, that's a pretty big deal, because that's the only thing that was made in his image. I think the mountains are beautiful, the lakes are beautiful, the streams, the beach, where we were last week, but this is in his image. Come on, right? And if that's true, and he tells us to honor it because he lives in us, why would I want to have him living in a shack? Why would I want to have him living in a beat down building or dilapidated building because I'm not taking care of it? That doesn't make any sense. We don't treat people like that. So it's like, I don't think there's a choice, I really don't. And so I don't give myself an opportunity with that. I don't look at it as I have a choice. It's not a choice. I'm either going to do it or I'm not.
Well, if we want to live a life of vitality, longevity, and well-being, and not be riddled with adult toys, walkers, wheelchairs, crutches, and canes, we have to come to grips that nutrition really does matter. In fact, there's a really great Bible chapter story that tells about something that we start the year off with oftentimes, the Daniel fast. Is the Daniel fast really a fast, or is it representation of how we should be treating these bodies?
I laugh at that because that's been so misinterpreted. It wasn't a fast. So here's what happened. These three guys, and plus one, Daniel and his three friends, they were taken captive from their homeland and captured and taken to Babylon. Now, while they're there, the strategy was Babylon was going to go conquer these empires and get the best people and indoctrinate them into their world. Change their name, their language, their look, the way they ate, the way they dressed, the whole bit. Well, Daniel was in captive in the middle of his training program, and he had this idea. I don't want to eat this food that's not food. I want to eat some vegetables. And so he gained some favor with the guard, and the guard let him do that. And sure enough, after a few days, he and his friends looked better than the rest of them and impressed him so much, they continued it. It wasn't a fast. It wasn't a diet. It was a lifestyle. And they did so good at it that the king of Babylon later looked at them and said, "Man, I haven't seen anyone so wise and so smart in all my days." And eventually he was made second in charge, all because he cared for his temple. Go figure.
So that's just fascinating that we as a culture will use this nutritional protocol for a week, 2 weeks, and then we revert back to our old ways, which is the standard American diet most typically. And each and every person that does the Daniel fast, I hate to use the word just fast, but it is a sort of a fast because you are fasting from seed oils and alcohol and, sodas and just the different things that bring on affliction. It is a type of a fast, but it should be cultivated for the long haul as we continue to have a relationship between nutrition and our bodies.
Bottom line is, the Bible's real clear about it. We could go on and on and on with this, but it's not about telling people they're wrong. It's about showing people how right they can be. We've got to care for these temples, these physical bodies that we have, because they're not yours to abuse. We got to think about it like that. So if you want some fresh perspective, just look at these scriptures we mentioned, and perhaps it will inspire you.
Continuous glucose monitoring, a hot topic to hacking your health.
Coming up next.
I don't know about you, but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Coffee is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
And it's Kingdom Cup with a K,
K.
right? So this is important. 50% of all coffee at least contains mold. And this is a key thing. That's in bean form, right? So you're going to be a little grinder. They're just a few bucks. Grind it up, put it in your maker, and make it. Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. So this is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative.
Can a shake transform your life?
If it helps you invest in your health on a daily basis, the answer is
Yes!
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life.
We'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today. Now we have it, Kingdom Crunch.
It's important to start breakfast off with a power-packed punch. You want a complete amino acid score, good protein. If you turn the label over and look at the back of the box, there is no added sugars in either one of these flavors, either peanut butter or acai bowl.
Peanut butter has 11 grams of high-quality protein. Acai bowl has 8. Peanut butter has 11 grams of carbohydrate, acai bowl 12, and both of them have a good solid fat content at 6 grams. Very filling, very healthy.
You will be fueling yourself with high quality fuel, starting off the day right. You can even use Kingdom Crunch as a snack in the middle of the day if you just have a craving and you want to eat something that is good for you, it has a crunch, and doesn't have a lot of calories.
There you go. Diabetic friendly, keto friendly, paleo friendly, Kingdom Crunch, and
Child friendly.
Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars. They don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit. That's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
One of the biggest changes in medicine has been this thing called a CGM. Well, what is that? That is continuous glucose monitoring, and it has actually revolutionized not just the type 1 diabetic's life, but also the type 2 diabetic's life, and even the athletic person who's trying to understand how to optimize their biochemistry. Let's just talk a little bit about what these are.
Yeah, interestingly enough, with blood sugar issues being so prevalent today, as many know, we have a type 2 diabetes and or insulin resistance crisis. And depending on which database you look at, 1 in 3 persons are insulin resistant right now, adult-wise. And of course, that is a increasingly troubling trend, but really understanding what your glucose is doing with various foods. So the monitor is going to be something that's it's put into your skin in the subcutaneous area, and it actually senses the amount of blood glucose, and it gives you a real-time reading on your phone, which is really cool because then if I eat this, it does this. If I do this, it does this, and we all respond differently with different food groups.
That's exactly correct. In fact, I use one because I mentioned athletes can use it to kind of biohack their biochemistry, if you will, finding out what is going to spike that blood sugar, what's going to help you load those glycogen stores, what spills your blood sugar over the edge, and how to really keep it in range. So it is real-time data, and it is very helpful in being able to monitor your blood sugar. Now, a continuous glucose monitor has 3 things: a sensor, which senses the amount of blood sugar that's actually in your blood. That little pin or needle, if you will, does sit under the skin. You can kind of feel it. That then is transmitted, the transmitter, to a receiver. And the receiver is like a cell phone or your computer or some other device. Like, it can be transmitted to your doctor so that your doctor can download it and understand what's happening with your blood sugars.
There's a couple of, I think positive benefits of this, and I'll even talk about the negative because I like to know both sides of it. Number one, it is good for type 1 diabetics for certain. It's good for type 2 diabetics. It's really useful for everybody. Because if a person has a mindset to want to control that, you want to understand what does that, this gives you real-time feedback and real-time data to do that. I suppose the downside of it is it is stuck in your skin and you can feel it a little bit. I've tried to wear it, but we put it on the back of the tricep. That's kind of where they're put. But in my case, it doesn't work really well because there's muscle back there. And so I think that'll probably be adjusted at some point where it'll work better. I have seen people put them, on the belly too, but I know that that's a little bit uncomfortable as well. I think eventually, and people may not like this, and I don't know if I like it or not, but I believe eventually they're going to be implanted under the skin at some point, and you're going to see that real-time data on that.
There are some that are already available like that. They last for about 180 days before they have to be changed out. And they are also working with the artificial pancreas being the insulin pump.
Yeah, and it's fascinating what is happening out there. Another downside probably is a lot of people ask the question, and this is going to sound like a weird downside, does insurance pay for it? Well, they can, if you have the proper diagnosis is attached, right? But if you don't have the proper diagnosis, you can't get it paid for. Therefore, John Q. Public out here who says, I don't want to become type 2 diabetic. I don't want to become insulin resistant. I want to do this better. He or she's going to pay cash for this thing, right? And that it seems a little bit weird with that. It seems like that'll be available at a better price because you're talking a couple $100s a month for these things. People didn't know that. But the downside of insurance is those diagnosis codes. Let's say a person is diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and gets prescribed the CGM, or the continuous glucose monitor. They wear it for a time, fix their diabetes, and they're off medications for 25 years, not having to wear anything. Guess who is still diabetic? That person. And so those diagnosis codes follow you for life, and they will affect insurance premiums, life insurance premiums, or even acceptance policies as well.
Well, that's a real reason to take charge of your health and not get into the place where you become insulin resistant, have metabolic syndrome, become morbidly obese, where your body does not regulate your blood sugar, and eventually onto type 2 diabetes. So the continuous glucose monitor can be a very, very, very good way to stay ahead of the game, no pun intended, and avoid those diagnosis codes.
Well, and there's a couple things, and this is not designed to be a recommendation for either of these, but I want people to know what's out there. You can look at Freestyle Libre, and you can look at Levels. Levels is probably the newer one, and people can go on there and pay cash for those things.
Or the Dexcom. The Dexcom's out there
right.
also, and they do have a little bit of a price point to them if they're just on the market for the person that is not getting it covered by insurance.
Yeah, and frankly, if it were me, I would advise not utilizing insurance for that for the reasons I stated, because it's going to come back to haunt you. I think if people can use like a flexible or health spending account, I think that would probably work well, and probably even, bite the bullet and pay cash. You could do it for a little limited time to kind of know what is works with you, what works best, because like in your case, you put a little bit of kind of a half and half in your coffee. It doesn't raise blood sugar in some people, but it does in you, right?
Absolutely, it does. My blood sugar will go up to almost 200 with just a small splash of half and half in my coffee in the morning. But it is also in conjunction with putting my feet on the floor, which is that cortisol spike, which spikes blood sugar, and then there's that insulin response.
So there you have it. The complete glucose monitors are awesome. They really are. We highly recommend those. And if you can do that, you should look into it. Wear those. Dial in the blood sugar issue so that you don't become a statistics, because type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance are absolutely preventable and reversible. So we recommend the continuous glucose monitor.
Can a shake transform your life?
If it helps you invest in your health on a daily basis, the answer is
Yes!
Kingdom Fuel is our complete nutritional meal shake.
It's the simple start to a transformed life.
We'll auto ship every month so you don't run out.
You'll receive 2 free shaker cups, free access to our video courses, and a monthly call with us filled with practical inspiration.
Just see the link below or on your screen and subscribe today. If you're suffering from fatigue, if you know you got toxic overload because you're bringing in stuff that's actually inflammatory and toxic, it is time to get some answers. It's time to turn things around. It's time to get your body in a place where it can function again, because toxic buildup can and does and will kill you.
Kingdom Detox and Kingdom Detox packets.
In those are the supporting nutrients, the supporting micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that support all the functions of a whole Kingdom Detox. It also has Kingdom Fuel with it, so you can do a whole 2-week detox process with the detox packs, or you can just take the detox packs. Either way is fine, but it's going to support that process.
So the body's completely nourished. It gets a little bit of rest because it's not having to over digest, so to speak, and it gets the right nutrients that support those phases.
So we got to get the toxins out and let your body function well again. And that's why the Kingdom Detox process works.
Let's go.